This is part 2 of this mean, and we're going to take another step with this, which is called the standard deviation. Okay, so remember, the mean is like the center of the data. So 32, which we were talking about yesterday or in the other video, is kind of just past 31 here, but it's still the center, mathematically, the center of the data. Standard deviation is how far on average are each of these points from the center. So standard deviation means like to deviate from something. You might have heard that word before. To go against something is to deviate. So what's the standard number away from the middle? So that's standard deviation. Now, it's just a mathematical process. It's long, but it's not that hard, okay? Now, what we do, and again, here's yesterday's math. Okay, we found the mean. We added up all the numbers. Remember, mean is like the average divided by 5. We got 32. Now, standard deviation, what we do is we take each data point and subtract the mean. So for the first one, 22 minus 32. The next one, 28 minus 32. Obviously, the next one, 31 minus 32. Okay, the next one, 36 minus 32. Okay, and the last one, 43 minus 32. Okay, so again, this is not hard math, but you take the number, each number in the data, subtract the mean. Number minus the mean, number minus the mean. Now, obviously, some of these are going to be negative, okay, which is okay. So 22 minus 32 is obviously a negative 10. 28 minus 32, a negative 4. 31 minus 32, negative 1. Now we're into the positives. 36 minus 32, 4. 43 minus 32, positive 11. Okay. Okay, now from here, we need to square each of these. Okay, now again, remember we did this back in other things. We got to put the negatives in parentheses when we square it on our calculator, because all negatives squared, if you remember, all negatives squared become positives. Now, if it's a positive, I really don't have to worry about the parenthesis. Okay. But again, in a parenthesis, a negative 10 squared is a positive 100. Negative 4 squared is a positive 16. Negative 1 squared, positive 1. Obviously, a positive squared is positive 16. 11 squared, 121. Obviously, you'll do all this math on your calculator. Okay. Okay, the next step is we actually are going to average these. These are called variances. Kind of how it varies from the mean. So when we square these are the variances. We're going to total these all up. Okay, so grab your calculator. 100 plus 16 plus 1 plus 16 plus 121. Okay, 254. So we added all those up. We got 254. But again, we're going to average these. Okay, we're going to average these. So I'm adding up all these variances, and there's 5 of them. So kind of like we did with the mean, we take that total and divide by 5. Okay, and that comes out 50.8. Okay, so 254 divided by 5. Now again, if you had a whole bunch of decimals, we'd go to 2 decimals. So on this stuff, we're going to 2 decimals, standard deviation. Now, the next video we'll actually do a bigger problem with more numbers, and it'll obviously take a little bit longer. We're just going to do one together the next time. Okay, one more step. So this 50.8 needs to be square rooted. So it's kind of like we're squaring. See, we're squaring all of these, totaling them up, averaging them, then we're going to square root, which means kind of we're taking off the negatives. When you square and then square root, you just take off all the negatives. Okay, but the last step, square root the 50.8. Okay, and this is your standard deviation. Okay, now, again, we're going to go 2 decimals, 7.13. Now, you can see that I put positive and negative. Okay, so what we're talking about is, again, 32 is my mean, and the standard distance from that mean with all these numbers is it's kind of up 7.13 and then also on average down 7.13. Okay, now guys, that's what this would be the negative, but you don't really have, they wouldn't actually put the negative. Okay, it's just down 7.3, which is the negative, up 7.3, which is the positive. Okay, and guys, this is used in a lot of data stuff. When you take a survey of like people's different, answers to things, like how far away is most of the data from the center, from the mean. The mean is like the center point, and this average is about 7.13 above and 7.13 below. Okay, and that's what standard deviation is, plus or minus 7.13. Okay, now, again, it's long, but it's not that hard. Okay, what I'm going to do is just take that first problem. We're only going to do the first problem from yesterday. And you already should have had the mean for yesterday's assignment. So take that mean for those 5 numbers and do this standard deviation process, okay? So you're going to do the standard deviation process right here that we just did for those 5 numbers. And then just enter in your information